Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Barfield, live from the West End, poking around, and look who you find, G4. How are you, boys?
Hey. Hello.
Well, I've just seen the launch of your new album, and I was very honoured to be sent a copy of it a while back, and it is tremendous. I don't think there's ever been a better album to celebrate your voices, really. Congratulations, Mike.
Oh, well, thank you. I think it's a new chapter for us, really. We hadn't recorded an album quite like that for a long time, and we're a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and it's really utilising the skills and the journey that we're on, and really being able, what was the vocal drama I think we came up with earlier that sort of illustrates it, and it just really showcases what we can do as a group.
You made me think, and you moved me, Jonathan, during your performance, because you came out and you said, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Now, what is that?
Well, we were considering going in cahoots with Ann Summers and having one on one side and one on t'other.
Really? But you wouldn't do that?
Well, I'm just saying.
There's some great songs in this. One of the songs I love, Ben, was Amigos para Siempre, which I think you stole the night with tonight. It's a beautiful lyric and a magnificent harmony. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. No, it's an absolutely massive song, and like to see some of the artists who performed that, you know, you kind of go. You remember we were like trawling through YouTube and we were trying to find a list of ideas for songs, and these absolutely songs with huge drama, and we thought maybe we can do something with that, you know, in our kind of humble way. Initially we were like, but what we came up with, we were really happy with, and you know, listening to the album from 1 to 13, it is an amazing emotional journey to get from one into the other. It's quite something. I think we're all really proud of it.
The money it cost to make an album, I'm fascinated to talk about, because most fail, most can't do it. You managed to seem to survive, selling out audiences, making these incredible albums. We thought it was going to be one show, didn't we?
It was meant to be a one-off thing, and that was what I was brought in under the pretense.
It still rankles.
Yeah.
We didn't know you before G4, although you've done this all your lives. That's why you're so good and you can fit in so brilliantly with each other. For you to stand on a stage like that in the West End, or whether it be in Birmingham, Manchester, Nottingham, or any of these gigs you've done, is it thrilling, and do you still pinch yourself?
Yeah, of course, you've got to. If you stop pinching yourself, then it's not worth doing, I think. We all spent years training as kids and teenagers and beyond to get to what we're doing today. We all went through the experience of doing awful gigs where nothing went right, and we all had those amazing moments which we just sort of didn't think would come, and they all help, you know, build you the person that you are today. And we've all, you know, there's 4 of us from 4 ridiculously different backgrounds, and we all draw those experiences in, and that helps sort of bond that group together.
And also, of course, pinching yourself several times can be a good amuse-bouche to lovemaking.
Wow, that's a real insight for you, isn't it? Gosh. Is that why you've been on your own?
Mike, you seem to be the brains behind the business of all this. Is that right to say that? I mean, you're really fighting to make this a success, and it's working. I mean, congratulations to you on that. I'm sure you boys... I mean, you're very lazy, aren't you, Ben? You admit that.
Incredibly lazy. I'm hoping to be wheeled around the London Marathon in April. So, yeah, exactly. Nothing extracurricular here.
Did you just imply you're doing a marathon?
I'm doing my 11th marathon in April.
Now, I don't wish to be rude, because I'm a deeply unattractive man. I've made this perfectly clear, but you don't look like a man that does marathons.
I know, that's the funny
bit.
Eat
marathons, but...
I can eat marathons. Actually, they're horrible. They're horrible, though. Have you ever had a Snickers?
If you're eating a marathon, it's very out of date.
Yeah. Have you ever had a Snickers?
Well, I have, but you see, full of nuts. You want to avoid that.
Oh, gosh, yeah, especially it hurts the back of your throat. But no, like, I know.
I love Oche.
Yeah, exactly. But I know, it's an amazing thing to do, and I think the reason I only started doing it is basically because we were watching the Great North Run one day, and I said, I'd like to do that one day, and John laughed at me. So since then, I thought it was a good idea. And
you can be very cutting and mean, can't you, sometimes?
I can. Look, the reality was we were sat there, a few cans of beer in, and Ben's going, I fancy doing the London Marathon. I'm just like, what? Like, what on earth would possess you to run 26.2 miles? And the 0.2 counts. That's the
Point 2 is the hardest. That's the bit you get to 26 miles and there's 300 metres left around the corner. You're like, you just don't think you can do 300
I think my major concern will be the 26 miles, not the 0.2, if I'm being honest.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the 0.2 that I reckon is the hardest.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what regime, as you sit here eating cookies, what regime are you on to think that you're going to get round this
cookies? mainly.
Right.
Cookie's hope and experience of knowing that whatever happens, I've never not got round one yet. It's just varying degrees of capability. But I've been out there running and like doing stuff and like doing my training, and I always get to the start line knowing that I'm going to get around, and that's the main thing, because you see so many people. You have to have respect for the distance. It's the same thing with singing. You have to have respect for the journey and have respect for the song and all these things. And it's the same running a marathon. You'd have to turn up at the start line knowing that you're capable of getting to the end. Because
this is remarkable. I mean, it gives us all hope, doesn't it?
It does.
anyone can run a marathon. I think I'm literally living testament to the fact that anyone can run a marathon if they really
the
want
London
to.
Marathon you're doing.
It's London, yeah.
My friend's doing the Antarctic one, so.
Well, at least you don't get hot and sweaty. That sounds really easy. What are you doing?
So under this, I mean, you're basically 18 stone of muscle, aren't you, is what you're telling us?
Absolutely stacked, yeah.
It's remarkable.
Yeah,
And oysters.
Yeah, I just need 5 further packs to get to my 6, and then I'll be right with you.
Well, I'm amazed. You see, you leave me speechless every time. And then
Credit, we have to say though, huge credit to Ben. 11 marathons, it's amazing. I'm sorry I laughed at you, but I'm glad that gave you the motivation. And seriously, we love cheering him on. I'm very, very proud of him.
we can't laugh at you anymore. I don't like this. Maybe fail the next one.
Just for you.
Yes, just
So
for
would you
entertainment's purposes.
Well, I think if a hugely attractive woman turns up and says, fail the marathon for me, I might consider it.
Okay. Well, that could be one of the next titles of your new Love album, couldn't it?
I'd do anything for running a marathon, or not running a marathon, but I won't do that.
There you go.
I think his new fiancée, Helen, might have something to say about that. So
Congratulations. This is
She is a hugely attractive woman.
She is a hugely attractive woman.
This is the second most amazing thing we've learnt today. You've actually found a lady that finds you attractive. It gives us hope again, doesn't it, Mike?
It does. It's inspiring.
It's hope for the common man.
We're going to talk about the new album, which is out now. You can get online and you can pre-book your tickets for the tour, which is happening this summer and, of course, in the autumn, which is remarkable. First, a few things we need to talk about. You've been in the press recently, Jonathan, and I said online, I think you're a hero and a champion of show business. You were shafted by some scumbag that decided not to pay you. I'm currently owed thousands of pounds by people. It seems like it's okay now for talent to be paid less and last.
It's unfair. You're always at the bottom of the pile, and if a producer hasn't got it left, he just goes, oh, it's fine. And that's not right. And it's so difficult. This industry is so overpopulated. People struggle to get auditions, let alone get the role. They then negotiate their terms, and then they go on the road and they give their talent, their amazing hours and hours of training, and then their time away from loved ones and friends and family doing a show. And although we absolutely love what we do, it really is not just about the love of it. You still have to pay your bills at the end of the month, and it's so unfair that it puts people in incredible financial hardship when a producer just revokes the fee at the end and goes, sorry, I'm going to bust the company. And it's just a travesty that, in particular, Stephen Leatherland, that I stood up to recently in his current company, World on Stage. He's got an unfortunate knack of folding companies when anyone comes to him for the money. And over the last 20 years, he's done that 10 times. And he's now going to be starting the 11th company because I'm chasing him for it. And that's not right. And it's not right with Stephen and the other people in those productions, but it's ultimately not right across the board. We're even looking now in connection with Equity to try and get a lobbyist firm together and actually change legislation so that there's some kind of slush fund insurance policy that in the industry there's producers paying into an insurance, the artist's proportion of their fee is paid in, so if a producer pulls the show, there's still some money. You get paid a few days work, and I think that's vital. People work so hard, they don't get paid anywhere near what you'd expect, and they need that money at the end of the month, and it's just not right.
The big question is how somebody gets, like he's been Stephen Leatherland for however long he's been, how he's got to be at the forefront of 10 different businesses.
Well, I'll tell you how, because most people aren't brave enough to stand up and say it.
But should he not be blacklisted from running a company like that?
But here's the other side. Some people will say you'll be blacklisted because you're a troublemaker because you speak out, and I've seen this in my career. Did you ever worry about that?
Absolutely, and I certainly am conscious of that. And the reality is I'm in a very, very fortunate position. G4 is going really well. I've got other amazing opportunities in my career. I'm not going in front of casting agents and giving my soul to hopefully get a role and slog away for 8 shows a week on a production touring around or in the West End. I'm in control of my own destiny with G4 and as a solo artist, and that does give me that ability and that power, and it's a very, very fortunate position to be in, and I'm utilising that position not just for myself but for everybody that's in that.
And the ludicrous defence, I've paid your expenses, couldn't be more insulting, could it?
But producers literally they prey on the vulnerability and the insecurity of artists as well, because an artist will worry that if they get a reputation as a troublemaker, that there'll be kind of other people, word will get around, and auditioning is a waste of time because they won't be considered for things, and producers prey upon that vulnerability, and I think that's really, really, really evil.
And whether you're on 10 grand or 10p, it doesn't matter. If you own money and you've done the job, you should be paid, and somebody somewhere is making money.
And what I love now is the reaction to the protest. It's become called a protest, stage protest on Facebook that I did, has not just had hundreds of thousands of views, but it's also had a reaction across the industry and across industries. I have to say, a lot of self-employed individuals have come against the same thing, and there's a lot of companies and particular industries in the country which do this on a regular basis and leave people not just out of pocket, but they break homes. There's one lady contacted me and said that it literally ruined her life. She lost her dad. He went into an emotional breakdown because he lost 6 months of work against a contract. He then lost the house. He split up with his wife. He became so depressed. She lost her dad because somebody didn't have the chutzpah to pay and actually stand up to their obligations, and they embezzled that money, reopened and added a little .uk or something on the company, still trading as the old one, and that's not right. I think it's amazing that the reaction to me has not just been from also performers but also producers, and that reaction has been overwhelming for me, and I'm delighted to have stood up on behalf of everybody.
And what amazes me is the arrogance of these people, that they'll stand there as if they've done nothing wrong. We'll leave it there, but it is remarkable.
It is, and it's a sad world, but please, anyone out there, don't work for Stephen Leatherland.
Congratulations on being so brave to do it. I admire you greatly. So back to this album then. It's the Love album. It entails all these wonderful tunes from Elton John to Amigos para Siempre, I'll Do Anything But That, and all these other songs. How long did it take you in the studio? Because beautiful arrangements.
Goodness me, I'm just trying to think. I think we were in the studio a week or two, weren't we, doing vocals, and we went out to Prague to record the orchestra as well, which was pretty amazing. So it's sort of over a collection of a few weeks, I think it really came together.
Pardon me, by the way, that was me in the background.
Oh, was that one of your, let's call it, movements? You see, if you eat cookies, that will happen.
He'll do that.
And then we're looking forward to the tour. I mean, I just saw you again at Christmas in that cathedral in Derby, which is probably one of the most glorious settings you can ever see any singers that can actually do the business. And with virtually no PA, there you were just singing these glorious harmonies. Is it still as magical for you today as it was when you started? Because let's face it, you've been doing it a long time and having to churn out these songs so perfectly night after night.
I think that's the thing, is to continually find that hunger and that energy and that drive to carry on and make something special. And you have to remember that in an audience, there's always going to be somebody for whom that's the first time that they've experienced listening to us, and very often the first time that they've experienced listening to music live. And we have to remember how special it is for them. And if that for that one person, that's so important. But for that contrasts that with the people who come to see us every single night, every single show, and the commitment that is, it's an amazing thing. All of those things together. If you can't be driven to do something, on a night like that, whether it's your 17th show in a row and you're really, really tired, if when you cross the stage and you're there in front of people, you can't lose that tiredness for an hour and a half, something's really, really wrong.
I don't think there's ever been a group with better, tighter harmonies than you have, and I congratulate you on that, Nick. That feeling of being on stage when it all comes together must be magnificent.
Yeah, it really is, and we're really fortunate in this group that we have those extremes of ranges, those sort of vocal freaks that with John right up at the top and me underneath.
You don't need the word vocal in there.
No, but it's polite. It's a separate term. Freaks.
You guys get up to in your own time.
No,
I won't do that.
It is really three, and there's some sort of all these sort of unconscious connections that we make with each other when we're singing in harmony, like syncing up in time with the lyrics and everything like that. And the power of that comes over to the audience, and they don't even know it, but that's what's really.
You like syncing unconsciously as well, don't you? Why are you looking so confused this evening? Am I baffling you?
It's just been a long day. I'm just trying to work out what that means.
We're speaking too quickly. Would you like me to slow down?
Sorry, what?
He's the older one of the group. He needs to turn his hearing aid up.
Set it to end.
You got the loop system.
Yeah, I am the granddad of the group, sadly. So
I was talking to you earlier, and you said something that I thought was remarkable. In all the years, we've never talked about this, because Il Divo have always sort of been the elephant in the room, that they're doing what they do, which is quite similar to you. I honestly think on stage you have better energy, you have a better spirit, you also have more fun, you make it more contemporary, I think they get bored. You, though, could have been in Il Divo. It almost happened.
It almost happened. It was a bizarre moment. I went to college one day and there was a little poster up on the wall saying that Psycho, it was quite a new company at the time, was looking for an operatic version of Westlife. And if you were up for auditioning, come to an open audition on X day and turn up. I messed up with my diary and thought it was the day after, just realised, rushed to the room, and there were chairs as far as you could see all lined up, and I ushered myself past them, rushed into the room, and thankfully the panel and the pianist was still there. Simon Cowell was sat at the back, totally unexpected. He was there with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and I sung, and I did Bring Him Home actually, and from Les Mis I sung that, and he just went, how old are you? I literally just said how old I was, and he said, okay, thank you, and I left. And I thought that was the weirdest experience, didn't expect him to be there. And then they were at the time, as I say, looking for a Westlife looking group. They then called me back and said they're still interested, maybe talk a bit more. And then they went, no, we've changed, we're going for an Hispanic look. And that became subsequently Il Divo, this huge brand that actually was then advertised for the very first time in the UK in the ad breaks after our performances on the X Factor. So it was kind of a weird moment where we were confused actually for a little
If you like G4, you might like these guys.
Yes.
Was pretty much how
That sounds very Simon Cowell, doesn't
it? And they've done incredible. Like, look, they're a totally different concept. They're incredible, and their production values are insane. They've got a huge financial backing. God forbid they'd look at each other on stage, though. They're not mates. They're fabulous singers. They're internationally renowned individual artists, and David's voice in particular, I adore. Carlos's power when he kicks in, amazing. And as a group, they are so powerful. But they're not a group in the same way that we are, and having the fun, as you say, the interaction and that enjoyment that we get. They absolutely flirt with the audience and they have that connection, but they don't seem to have that natural bond. And I do think they're incredible. I've seen them a few times and I think they're a wonderful product. But I think that we've got something more real. I think that's what people have connected to, in particular in the UK.
You meant better, not real.
No, real. We're real. Look, I don't think we're better or worse. I think that they have got huge investment behind. I think if Simon Cowell got behind us maybe and put all of those amazing grand things, maybe there could be obviously a more expansive production and stuff behind us. We're quite I guess bijou in the way that we create what we do, but it connects and we spend the time with the audience. We stand at the end of a show and we sign everybody's autographs that are in the queue, and we have that connection. We don't rush off and disappear and then jet home to our own individual country. I mean, now we live in different parts of the UK individually, but we're together a lot, and I think that that's really important as the bond.
You can't buy chemistry and you can't buy talent, and you've got both. Congratulations, boys. The new album is available now. Put G4 into Amazon. It'll come up right at the top. And the tour kicks off later in the spring. What date?
1st of March in Cheltenham.
It's going to be great. And then you're back again in the autumn, which is remarkable. And then Christmas. I'll see you in Nottingham. Thank you for booking that in. I can't afford any more petrol going to Derby because it's another 14, 15 minute drive. Do you know what I mean, Mike? I appreciate that.
It's a long way, yeah.
Can I still have free tickets?
Maybe.
I'm owed a lot of money from an agent. So.
If you come to Derby, you can have a free ticket.
Boys, thank you so much. Great to talk to you. The new album's out now. I shall see you in March. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
mate. Cheers.